With only a few weeks until the reveal of Black Ops 6, here is everything known so far, including campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone details. Starting with the main theme and campaign for the game, according to Windows Central, this is a Black Ops set during the Gulf War and will be set in the early 90s that will attempt to explore a nuanced narrative of the Gulf War with a critical focus on different participants within the conflict. It will dovetail into the end of the Cold War era and explore some of the consequences therein, directly following on from the events of Black Ops Cold War. No one truly knows the title of this game yet, but the most likely name will be Black Ops 6, as Cold War was technically the 5th Black Ops title, even though it's not chronologically the 5th game. The campaign is going to be very different to any Call of Duty, as it's set to embrace an open world campaign. Now, we did see the idea of an open world campaign experimented with last year with Modern Warfare 3 and its open world missions, but unlike that, this is going to be a campaign built from the ground up that isn't reusing any assets from prior games or maps like we saw with the Dansk and MW3. And according to Insider Gaming, this campaign will have the classic linear Call of Duty campaign missions we know and love, but overall the campaign will have a much bigger emphasis and focus on this open world, which will see you, the player, and your squad navigate the map more akin to that of a Far Cry game than anything seen before in the Call of Duty universe. And this campaign open world is so big that you'll need to utilize vehicles in order to get around, as well as use a fast travel system to get from one point to the next. A lot of the classic Black Ops characters will be returning to this campaign, such as Frank Woods, Mason, and Russell Adler, but it's known currently that the main character will be a new character introduced called Ratcliffe. And we know this thanks to the actor playing this character, Luke Charles Stafford, who leaked his involvement in this game almost a year ago, detailing on his Facebook that Activision have decided to adapt their next main character, Ratcliffe, for Call of Duty off of his face and likeness, showcasing videos and photos taken from Activision's capture studio, and also references how much of a fan he's been of Call of Duty for so long, where he used to play Black Ops 2 with his college roommate, giving another bit of credence to this game being a Black Ops themed game. But on top of Ratcliffe, there are also 3 other rumored characters found within leaked code for the game through data miners on Twitter, called Felix, Marshall, and Newman. Twitter leaker Semtex Leaks has also found that similar to Black Ops Cold War's campaign, this game will also feature a safe house during the campaign. In Cold War, this was used as a hub between missions where you can interact with characters, learn some secrets, and also do some side missions. The safe house in this campaign, however, sounds even more advanced than Cold War, where players can purchase upgrades, including upgrading your weapons perk slots, upgrading the player's perk slots, as well as upgrading equipment, as well as being able to purchase player perks and test the build of your weapon at a firing range. You'll also be able to view intel, which means that intels are returning in the campaign, as well as there being an armory where you can look at all your weapons, a workbench that lets you change the equipment, and an office to change your player perks. We've not seen this level of customization since the Black Ops 2 campaign that allowed you to change up the weapon you were using as well as perks, so this sounds really cool. The exact number of total missions in the campaign is not yet known, but on your screen now is some leaks of currently known codenamed missions, according to @CODII Intel, and according to Insider Gaming, this campaign is being solely developed by Raven Software, who created the Black Ops Cold War campaign, whilst Treyarch will be handling multiplayer and zombies. But on the topic of zombies, let's talk about everything we know so far. The biggest and most important thing is that it will be round-based. This was first reported by Windows Central, but Charlie Intel backed this up back in November, saying that they've heard the same, knowing that Treyarch will have round-based in this game, but it's not yet clear how many round-based maps there will be at launch. Well, all current rumors, as well as factual storyline evidence, tells us that there are going to be 2 round-based maps at launch. And these maps are codenamed ZM Quartz and ZM Garnet, and time-wise will both be set in the 1990s. ZM Garnet is rumored to take place in a fictional town or city, and current map details include there being a bank, a church, and police tape, as well as having wire ascending similar to Mauer de Toten, as well as there being machines around the map that you can activate. Now, we know from intel that was added at the end of Black Ops Cold War Zombies tells us of a zombies map location set in West Virginia. And very recently in Modern Warfare Zombies, a new radio was added that is the beginnings of explaining this West Virginia town, and leakers have managed to discover the name of this town through the naming of the sound files for upcoming radios that will further explain this map, with the town being called Liberty Falls. So that isn't the map's name itself, but the town that it exists in is going to be called Liberty Falls. Storyline wise, this is going to be the center of a brand new test site that Eddie Richtofen, who is now known as the director, is building for some sort of operation that we don't quite understand the reasoning for. But this intel mentions different different details like an underground tunnel network, a nuclear power plant. It all sounds like potential for a really cool sounding zombies map, and a fairly large one by the sounds of it. And when you hear sections of a map like a town, a church, it sounds quite similar to Transit. And I'm not saying that we're going to be getting a Transit remake or anything like that, but it sounds like there's a chance that it could be some sort of spiritual successor to Transit, as within the files for the weapons currently in the game, for zombies, there's the existence of the ray gun and the jet gun, which is the exact same name as the wonder weapon from Transit. Now, I highly doubt that Treyarch would create a brand new wonder weapon and call it the same thing, so there's a good chance that the jet gun from Transit could be returning in this zombies game. Let's now jump to the other zombies map, ZM Garnet, which a lot of the community right now suspect to be called Terminus Island or some variation of that, as this map is rumored to be set on an island with an elevator that will take you to an underground prison and lab, as well as having a ship with a deck cannon trap you can activate and set the angle of. Now, within our current Dark Ether storyline, we got a very small tease during Act 2 of Modern Warfare Zombies, where in one of the cutscenes, you see a diagram for the backstory of the Terminus Outcomes character Jack Fletcher, where in 1991, he was hired by the CIA as security detail for Terminus Island. This is a real blink and you'll miss it moment, but this is perfect narrative to set up an island map. 2 years later, narratively from this island, he was later honorably discharged, meaning whatever activities happened on this island were completed within that 2-year period. Notice a detail as well about him being hired by the CIA, when in reality, this translates to being hired by Eddie Richtofen to be part of his evil bidding. And this exact time frame is what we are likely to see for this second round-based zombies map, as after the end of the events of Black Ops Cold War Zombies, every member of Requiem was arrested and sent to a location called Black Site 13. To this day, we still don't know the location of Black Site 13, but if that is a prison, then it makes so much sense that this is the prison within the island map that the rumors are speculating on. Quite clearly, we're either going to play as Requiem or alongside Requiem to help them escape this Black Site 13 prison, and we might get the help from an unlikely friend, as we got a direct teaser for this island map at the end of Black Ops Cold War Zombies in the outro cutscene, where Dr. Peck is in Japan looking for old friends in the Pacific and points to an island seemingly in the middle of nowhere that he wants to be taken to. And what could this be? Well, this is obviously pointing at the Island Zombies map. This will lead into everything that happens in the story between the years of 1990 and at least 1996, as we learn in the latest Modern Warfare Zombies cutscene that Elizabeth Gray recorded a message for Ava Jansen in August 1996 to explain her origin. Gray also explains that her and the other Requiem leads were slowly dying, and in order to keep Ava safe, they entrusted Ava to the Jansen family, a couple who were national intelligence agents, while Ravenov would continue to watch over her. We learn that eventually Gray, alongside all the other Requiem leads, end up dying in Urzikstan, where their corpses remain in a hidden basement alongside an Ethereum container device. And that leads into everything we've learned so far about the modern day timeline of the Dark Ether story. But enough about the round-based maps, let's now talk about some of the gameplay specific details we know so far. And this includes the return of the mystery box, the pack-a-punch machine, large ammo boxes, as well as the return of the arsenal system to allow you to upgrade your weapon vest level, just like we saw in Cold War Zombies. However, this machine will now no longer upgrade your weapon's rarity, as leakers have discovered that there will be a new crafting table system which will allow you to upgrade the rarity that way. Leakers have also found references in the code to some type of gobblegum system making a return to Zombies for the first time since Black Ops 3 in 2015. Now, it's very unlikely that this will be exactly the same as the gobblegum system, but it's apparently going to be a similar concept, with the idea of consumable items being able to be used within Zombies. If this is true, this is one of the best decisions I think they've made in a long time, and I really hope it ends up being real. The exfil system from Black Ops Cold War Zombies will be returning, so at subsequent round numbers like 20, 25, 30, etc., you can then call an exfil and leave the map. Some other gameplay details known is that there will be a brand new dog variant, which is a tentacle dog, as well as the return of the manglers. There's also references to one of the weapons within Zombies having some sort of bubbling effect when shot at zombies, which sounds a lot like the KT-4 Wonder Weapon from Zetsubou no Shima. There's also references to the Wonder Waffe DG2 existing, but it's unclear if that's referenced referencing the DG2 in Modern Warfare Zombies or referencing it in this upcoming game. And we've spoken a lot about the fact that round-based zombies is returning with 2 maps, but what is also unclear at the moment if it will just be a round-based zombies game or if there will be round-based as well as there being some sort of Outbreak or Modern Warfare Zombies continuation, as there are references found to an ether extractor contract as well as there being the spawn of a reward rift inside of the zombies mode. And there's some interesting discussion within the community right now if the Liberty Falls map could actually be some sort of objective-based zombies experience played on a more open world map, as there were strings of code found within Modern Warfare Zombies which at first was assumed to be part of Modern Warfare Zombies, but it hasn't yet been seen, and this does sound like it could fit in with the theme of the city map, as there's mentions of objectives where you clear an area of zombies and evacuate civilians, saving civilians from rogue soldiers, and there being zombie outbreaks in different sections of the map, with one area being called the restaurant district, and there also being a civilian rescue that happens within a chapel. Now, this could just be leftover code for Modern Warfare Zombies and not at all relevant to Black Ops 6, but it would make a lot of sense that instead of there being 2 traditional round-based maps, there's actually only 1, and then we see the return of the Modern Warfare Zombie style Outbreak mode as well on a brand new open world map. Let me know what you'd prefer down below in the comments section. But let's now jump into everything known so far about multiplayer, as we know a surprising amount about it already, including maps, weapons, perks, and so much more. Diving into the maps, this is not a full list, but some of them will be remakes from prior Black Ops games, where we have the maps Radar, Island, Pillage, Canals, CMD, Grind returning from Black Ops 2, Firing Range from Black Ops 1, and Veiled. As far as perks go, on your screen now is going to be a full list of the known perks so far, and there is a ridiculous amount of perks in this game. Like, this list looks to be over 20 different perks in total, including a lot of fan favorites. As for current known game modes, there's Capture the Flag, Domination, Control, HVT, Gunfight, Gun Game, Infected, Kill Confirmed, King of the Hill, EFC, Intercept, Prop Hunt, and Search and Destroy. We also have a pretty comprehensive list of known streaks so far, which will be on your screen, but some new ones include the Cerberus and the Honeypot. A few more new ones here in this portion, which include the Nighthawk as well as the M202 launcher, and a third set of them including the coveted Tactical Nuke, which might be the first time we've ever seen a tactical nuke within a Treyarch multiplayer. On your screen now is the current known list of equipment that is going to be within Black Ops 6 multiplayer, which all seem very standard and what you'd expect, but there is some sort of new equipment called SC, which we don't know the meaning of. And we also have a list of what could be the field upgrades or field equipment that you would use with the LB and RB on your controller. It doesn't seem this game will have a traditional riot shield, and in fact one of these field upgrades will be a shield. And it also looks like the spy cam from the OG Black Ops 1 multiplayer will be returning. Now, as for weapons, Twitter user @VondiAsPog has posted a massive list of all the weapons currently found within the game's code, and I won't read them all out, but as you can see, there is about 8 assault rifles, 4 battle rifles, 10 SMGs, 5 shotguns, 4 LMGs, 6 marksman rifles, 4 sniper rifles, 7 pistols, 3 launchers, and 4 melee weapons. And it's also rumored that you can choose the specific melee weapon that you'll have in the game, and the only Call of Duty game that has had that feature is Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, practically with every new Call of Duty release, there is always a multiplayer beta beforehand, but according to Twitter user @SemtexLeaks, there is the chance that there will be an alpha playtest of the multiplayer for Black Ops 6. Coding was found to references for this year's multiplayer being in an alpha state right now, which means there could be a multiplayer alpha, or it could just be referring to an alpha playtest build only playtesters and QA testers have access to right now. But looking at the last Black Ops game, Cold War had a multiplayer alpha on PlayStation for 1 weekend only, and with how early the reveal is this year for the game, there is a chance that some sort of alpha could be released to the public. But generally, we would see an event like Call of Duty next, and that would be where we would see the multiplayer revealed, and then following on from that, the next day would typically be the launch of a multiplayer beta. I would assume that they're going to be doing a beta again this year, and also it will take place early enough from the full release that there will be enough time to take the feedback on to make changes. The game is rumored to be coming out in October this year, and according to Windows Central, Activision has been toying around with the idea of adding several weeks of early access to the game via pre-orders, but specifically for the Zombies mode this year, rather than it for just campaign early access. And with this game being in development for 4 years, which represents the longest development time Treyarch has ever put into one Call of Duty game, it might be ready a bit sooner than usual, which is why we could see some sort of early access with weeks of early access, which, if rumors are true, could give us access to one of the round-based Zombies maps early, which would be a massive benefit to the Zombies ecosystem in general, as it would have the most eyes and players on it than ever before, as players would literally not be able to play anything else. What would a new Call of Duty title be without there also being a Warzone integration? Just like we've seen before, it's likely that Warzone will be integrated from Season 1 of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and according to Insider Gaming, which was corroborated by Charlie Intel, this year's Warzone will be returning back to Verdansk. However, it will be the same version of Verdansk 84 that we saw during Black Ops Cold War, or a new updated version altogether. This makes sense for them to do, as it will then line up parity between console and the mobile version of Warzone, which currently has Verdansk as well as Rebirth Island. I would assume Activision would want both of these experiences to mirror each other, and now that we see the return of Rebirth in the mainline Warzone, it only makes sense that we see the return of Verdansk, which is what everyone wants to see. One source implied to Insider Gaming that the version of Verdansk we see will be a fan favorite season, but details still remain unclear. Leakers have been able to discover that there will be some sort of in-game reveal event for Black Ops 6 this month inside of Call of Duty Warzone, before we get the official reveal at the Xbox Games Showcase on June 9th. Very little was known about what will happen with this in-game reveal event, but it's likely to reveal the game's name and logo as opposed to a full game trailer reveal. Data miners have been able to find the event reward for completing this event, and it is a blueprint for a M1911 with the classic Mustang and Sally etchings on it, just like we saw in the original Black Ops 1 box art. The interesting thing here is that there are 6 tally marks on the pistol, which is why everyone believes this game is actually going to be Black Ops 6 as opposed to it being Black Ops 5 or Black Ops Gulf War.